Hi everybody, welcome back to CoversCorner. We're getting ready to start the garden tour. It's actually been about a week and a half since the last one because of the holiday weekend and stuff kind of got messed up, but I think you're going to be excited about the changes that have happened in that time. The weather's been up and down. It was cool and rainy, then now all of a sudden it's like hot and humid and a little bit of rain thrown in, so things have really kind of taken off quite a bit actually in the last week and a half. So let's get started. We got lots to cover here, and I don't want to make this a 3-hour tour, although I could easily. All right, here we go. So first up, I don't know if you can see the size of those sunflowers. I'm so excited. They're getting bigger. Kind of going backward. Usually I start at the far end, but came in this garden door or gate this morning, so the sun's kind of up and down, so I'm trying to keep that out of our eyes. But so anyway, we got our pepper plants. They're all doing really well. The white on here is actually DE, diatomaceous earth, because I am having some aphid issues going on already thanks to the humidity. And believe it or not, I swear we just weeded this bed. Brett and I last night picked stuff out of this bed. It's crazy. It's the humidity. That you take the good with the bad, right? The humidity helps the plants, good plants grow, but it also helps the weeds grow. So anyway, these onions are looking really good I have in here. More of the hot peppers. These are all my hot peppers, if you don't remember from the tours past. Peas. The few peas that came up are actually doing really well, but this was all planted with peas down through here, and I don't know if there was something with the seeds. I did have gotten new seeds, so I'll plant them again this fall. It's not that big of a deal. I have plenty of time to get another fall crop in when it cools down a little bit, so because these guys probably won't last too long with the heat, but we'll see. So the peas that did come in, we have pods on. I'm excited. We'll at least get a few peas for fresh eating. Off of these, like I said, seriously, a few pea plants. I don't remember ever having an issue with peas like I have with this year. Usually they are the easiest things to germinate and grow. I don't know if it's the weather because the temperature's been up and down. We've had a lot of rain or bad seeds or a combination of both, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you garden, right? Acorn squash is looking really good. See we have ants in there, and I'm gonna try a couple things that I have learned about from MI Gardener to see if I can help get rid of those ants before they get too out of control, because we've always had an ant problem in the yard, and now that we've taken over more of the yard for the garden space, we have more of the ants actually in the garden, but they were always there. It's just we've invaded their territory now, so now I need to try to get them under control before they take out my crops. That will not make me happy. So here's the spaghetti squash. It looks like we got some little blossoms down there starting, so that'll be fun. The eggplants, I wasn't too sure about them. Like last week they were looking pretty rough, but this week, you see this leaf here, they were looking pretty rough last week, but they got a little bit of insect issue going on there, so I put some DE on them also. First jack-o'-lantern pumpkin plant, I should say. Got lots of blossoms on there, and ants. I don't know if you can see that little ant crawling. It's not trees, it's ants. These sunflowers are looking really good. This bed is actually new. My husband was married prior. We both were. And he had his ex-wife's daughter was young when they got married, and so he's the only dad that she's known. So he has taken her as his own to help raise her. There was a time when she wasn't with us, but that was not our choosing. So, but she's back with us now, and hopefully things will keep going in the right direction with that. But this is her bed. This was the special project I was talking about last week. We were going to put it back there, which I don't want to show you too much right now, but we decided to put it here. So this is the things that she chose. 12-year-old would choose to put in her garden. She's got some sweet peppers and some lemon balm and oregano, and we haven't planted the flowers yet, and a tomato plant and some cucumber plants. So what we're going to do, we still have to do this yet. So there's always something to do. So this is yet another project. We're going to put a trellis up on the end of this that goes straight up so that she can trellis her cucumber plants. So, okay, so here is the corn. If you can see it, we have corn. This is the peaches and cream, and it looks like it's actually germinated pretty well. I have a couple spots that didn't germinate, but I planted 39 seeds of that, and I mean the majority of them look like they've come up. This is can't remember the name of it right now, but it's peaches and cream. This is the gold, silver and gold, or gold and silver, I can't remember now. This is going to be a later one anyway. We already knew that, so there's nothing's coming up here yet. I think this one was an 83 day off the top of my head. So the pie pumpkins, the two that I replanted, have come up along with their weed friend, and that's the one that I had planted. It's kind of looking, I'm not sure what's going on with it. We'll just keep an eye on it, and hopefully now that if the weather's changing, it will take off. I know I'm always weeding when I do these videos, and I swear I weed in between too, I promise you. This side of the bed is my cucumbers that never came up. Those were an older, well, not that old, like last year I believe I bought those seeds. I don't know, I'm not sure what's going on with them. I have more I'll replant. I wanted to give them just a little bit more time to come up, but this week is it. I didn't want to have 10 cucumber plants there all of a sudden if they all germinated. So, but that's on this week's agenda, is to replant those. So kale's looking really good. Onions back here are looking really good. Beans finally sprouted here somewhat, but look at those little bugs. Look at, and I'm sure it's the ants because I haven't seen anything else on them. The only other plants I've seen anything on is the brassicas, and I've seen I have little green worms, which I put DE on for them, and I'll have to check them again in a day or two. So, but I'm assuming that's ants because there's nothing on the leaves, it's just chewed. So we get rid of, and there's ants in the bed if you look at it. So we get rid of the ants. Hopefully we get rid of the problem. And here's the other pole beans, and you can see they are also having ant issues. Same thing. So I'm sure that it's just ants. But they're all looking, I mean, they're all growing. Same side, same on this side. I don't remember having this many problems with my beans with the ants, but this one's getting ready to trellis. You can see he's getting his little, I'll get him over that way. He grows a little bit longer. Not too much. I'm surmising probably by the beginning of next week, I forgot what day it is today, that they'll be ready to put on the trellis. Added some daisies. I don't remember if those were on the last tour. And again, it's the beans. See, this is where I didn't have any of them germinate, or they didn't germinate very well. I didn't replant here. I just figured with the beans also I have enough time to replant them, and I do have another bed of them, so it is what it is. I have this is all bush beans, and then those are pole beans. More onions. The purple kale we've been harvesting off of. I've dehydrated some of it. So I'm gonna keep going with it. It's got some rain trapped in there. It's kind of cool looking. All right, and again, pole beans with the ants. See, there's one little ant. I don't know if we caught him. Oh, yeah, look at him. Look at, there's the culprit. You know, I could sit here and pick them off and kill them though, but do you know how long it would take to kill off all the ants that are in here? I don't have the time. And I found out what these, or I figured out what these were. I couldn't figure out for the longest time. I'm like, why do I have all this frilly stuff? But there's more. Regrowing, or growing in this bed. And I'm like, was it something in the soil? Was it something in the mulch? No. This is the bed that last year I had my big dill plant in, and it went to seed. So I have dill reseeding with the cabbage. I'm not going to take it out anymore. I'm just going to leave it and see what happens with it. I don't think that it will hurt the cabbage. So might as well get a free crop, right? Anyway, here's my other cabbages. They are finally starting to head up. I don't know. I might not get to them before it gets, or they might not head before it gets too hot. That'll just be a chance I'll take and see what happens. Again, that was a learning curve for me because, like I said, when I planted my stuff out this year, I planted it out like I have always for years, and by the time that I did in Michigan. And here, even though it's been a funky spring, we've had cold, I think that it still should have been, I need to plant them out a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. I've been gardening for years, and every year you learn something new, or you know, something doesn't work that's always worked for you. So I've had a lot of people say, well, you know, I don't want to try it because I don't know if it'll work, and how do you get it to work every year? Now, I don't. The truth is it just doesn't work every year. Sometimes you get lucky and have a great harvest, and you can do the same exact thing the next year and have nothing. Either the weather gets it, the pests get it, because I don't spray chemicals on it. It's all organic stuff. It's just a chance you take. So there is, you know, I mean, I can't encourage people enough just to try to do it. Don't say I can't do it, or, you know, I don't know how to do it. Just put stuff in the ground and research, you know. I mean, it's how we all learn how to do this stuff, and it's trial and error, and it's, this year didn't do great, next year will do wonderful. So, you know, just don't give up. There's more. There's the dill up close. And my red cabbages, they're kind of look like they're starting to head a little bit. So, I mean, hopefully it won't get super hot before they get a chance to do something. And you can see that they had some insect damage on them. But I put the DE on, and it's slowed down. Like this one, that was like that before I put the DE on. I do need to reapply DE again because it did rain yesterday, and you have to reapply it. Brussels sprouts. They're, you know, like, again, they're getting chewed on, but I'll sacrifice a little bit. Here are my broccolis. Look at this. Look at those heads. They're getting there. I might not get huge broccolis this spring, again, because of the timing for planting them. But I do have some started already for my fall garden, so I'm excited about that. And cauliflower heads. Can you see them down there? Oh, teeny tiny cauliflower heads. They all have one. So, you know, again, with those, with the brassicas, the cabbage, and the cauliflower and the broccoli, I think it's more of a timing thing on my part of it. It's not the plant, the issue with the plant, or actually even an issue with pests. It was just a timing thing. So, live and learn, right? My oregano from last year that I need to come out. Looks like it may be starting to bolt, but I'm going to come out and trim some of it down. I've been dehydrating herbs and some spinach in that this week, so that was on my agenda. So I need to come out and do that. Onions are looking good, and they're little weed friends. I swear. I swear. It doesn't look like I weed at all when I do these tours, but I weed every day. Unless it's raining so hard you can't get out here. But okay, these are tomatoes. These 5 are Amish paste tomatoes that I started from seed. This one is this aroma I bought because I had Amish paste in here, and that when we got the frost, it took it out, and I wanted to have as many of the Amish paste or paste type tomatoes as I can, because I want to do a bunch of sauces and ketchups and stuff like that this year. So I went and replaced a couple of, I think I had 4 or 5 of the Amish paste tomatoes that got taken out that I replaced because I didn't have time to restart them myself. But yeah, it is what it is. You do what you got to do, because we're trying to, the purpose of this is to be as sustainable as we can, even though we live in a subdivision. We still want to grow as much as we can. We can't have livestock here, but we can do what we can do for ourselves. So that's our goal. I did get some Tabasco peppers so I can make some hot sauce. The Thai basil looks such a pretty flower. I love those flowers. I don't know if I'll harvest any of the basil off of it, but I love the flowers. Pink daisy. I can't remember if I had daisies in here when you guys went the last tour. Peppers are, most of them are looking really good. I don't know if these are marigolds or not. I didn't seed any marigolds out here. I planted them. So I'm not sure. So I've been pulling them. Got some blossoms. The only peppers I'm not too sure about are my Marconis. They look like they're stunted, but they have a blossom, so I don't know. We'll see. And then this mixed mixed bell pepper that was from seed, but they were a little bit older seed, and these were out during the cold, so I don't know if they just got stunted from that. So, but the rest of them are looking really good. Got some blossoms starting. I may pinch some of the blossoms off. This grass is actually from the hay. Well, the straw. We bought straw, and there's hay in it. So we have a little hay field we have to keep on top of. The weird thing with that is that not every bed that we mulched has the hay growing in it, the grass growing in it like that. So I don't know if they got a bale or two mixed up when they were sorting them, or what the deal is. So I can imagine it happens. I mean, they look so much alike. So, but anyway, so we deal with it. Pull it out. I have a little tool. I push the straw back, and I'll have to show you. I have this little tool that is really handy. It works really quick for just going and taking the weeds out. If you just pull the straw back, you can mulch them all down. So red peppers. I did replace one of my red peppers because I don't know, it was snapped somehow. I'm not sure what happened to it. Little basil's got some friendly grass partners. This is our big corn bed. Excuse my shadow. And these are hybrids. These are burpees, triple crown. And they've germinated really well. So, and I know I've heard people, I think I mentioned this before, people are like, well, you shouldn't plant them that close together. They won't grow well together. I've grown them in beds like this for quite a while, and they actually grow better for me. They have like an 8-inch row space. That's a weed. They have 8-inch row spaces between them. So as far as ventilation goes, I've never had a problem with it. I've never, knock on wood, this is the year though, not had a problem with mold or anything with them. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed. Here is I almost bypassed these, my experimental potato bags. Those potato bags were I used store-bought potatoes that had sprouted. I've heard a lot of people say, well, you can't use store-bought because they spray them with stuff so they won't sprout, they won't grow. But those actually seem to be growing pretty well. I guess we'll see. The end result will be what we pull out of the bag when it's done. If they don't get anything, I'm not really at a loss. You know, I'm not out anything. So just a little bit of time and a little bit of straw. I planted patty pan squash here. This is the one back bed that had nothing in it last time. We put this welded wire arch together. It's got patty pan squash here. And then I have national pickling cucumbers that I put in here. I have 3 plants on that side. And then I'm gonna actually plant under this, so so I won't lose all this garden space. And these are the French breakfast radishes I planted. I know a lot of those are typically like cold hardy plants, but I was like, I'm gonna just try it and see what happens if it gets shaded by the cucumbers, because the cucumbers should trellis right over top of it. So we'll try it. Yeah, I'm not opposed to trying something that I've never done before, or that people say won't work, because it may work for you, but it may not work for them. And it may work for me this year, but next year it may not. So anyway, so I have 3 of the cucumbers in here also. These are into spider friends. I don't know if you can see them. I'm forever sticking my head in spider webs around here. Used to freak me out. Now I'm like, it's a spider web. These sunflowers are doing really well. I've pruned and trellised that's a yellow squash, and we just used, my husband trimmed down the trees that were overhanging, that were really overhanging. They were like low overhanging. So repurposed and reused the sticks for trellises. I mean, there's no reason to go and buy, why go spend $5 for a post if you have a stick that will work just as well. That's the whole concept behind providing for yourself and being sustainable and homesteading, is to reuse the stuff that you have, or to repurpose the stuff that you have, to think outside of the box, to not go out and just spend money constantly. That's what my idea of homesteading and sustainability is. It's not running to the store and buying what I need to do something. It's, what do I have that I can use? Sometimes you do have to buy stuff. I'm not saying that. Sometimes you have to, but to do the most for yourself that you can on your own. But anyway, and this little feller just popped up, so that's another yellow. And when it gets a little bit bigger, I'll stake it up. I swear it is yellow squash seeds I used, but to me it looks like a watermelon or a cucumber. I'm not sure. And this is the zucchini, which I did have them staked up. I might have to stake them up a little bit more. This is my first year, and again, he's on a stick too. And this one will be, and that's a new zucchini that's up too. That will be on a stake. This is my first year of pruning and trellising my zucchinis and yellow squash. So this is a learning experience for me with this also. So come along for the ride with me. We'll learn together. The tomatoes on this side looking really good. I didn't show you the tomatoes over there. I have a lot of tomatoes that are going to need to start being trellised, or trellised and fastened to the cattle panel, because they're getting to that height. And I'm going to do a video on pruning them. I probably am going to wait till, obviously, like this one, I'm not going to prune heavily yet. I'm going to wait till it reaches at least, so I can start attaching it to the cattle panel. But they're all happy and healthy looking plants. They get their little arms stretched out. But yeah, so this week I'll be doing a video on pruning the tomatoes and and trellising the ones that are tall enough. So this is watermelon. This is also a watermelon. And so what we've decided to do is we've decided to just let them have this whole space from here down. And if they start to, because I know watermelons will grow crazy sometimes, and I've never grown these types before, so I'm not sure exactly how long their vines are going to get, but I know you can prune them back also. I used to do it when I lived in Michigan. I had my hens were next to, their run was next to the bed that I used for my squashes and stuff that were vining, and so I would head the vines in the direction of the chicken run, and the chickens would actually prune them for me, and I would get great returns on my pumpkins and my squash and my cucumbers. So I mean, I would think the same concept would work here with me pruning them, but we'll see. Look at this bean bed. I'm serious when I tell you that 3 days ago I had 10 little sprouts coming up. Yesterday I looked out the window, out the sliding glass door, because I was at the kitchen table, and I was like, what is in that bed? And then it dawned on me that it's the beans. They came up that fast with this weather. We've had humidity, we've had rain, we've had sun, we've had, like earlier this week we had cooler, or later last week, I can't remember what day it is. I'm losing track of days, guys. We had cooler weather, and then warmer, and then a little bit cooler, and then cooler nights, and so I don't know. I don't know if that's the trick or what, but they are up in full force. As you can see, I do have a little bit of damage by ants back here. I haven't put DE on them yet because I just noticed them yesterday, and it was rainy yesterday. So I probably will put some on either tonight or tomorrow, because I think after today, because today we still have a chance of rain, and there's no sense in putting it on and just have it washed off if it does rain. So after that I will put DE on them. A couple more Amish paste tomatoes. These were the little stragglers that I did not think were going to survive. That's why there's no cages or trellises on them, but that's one of my plans this week, is to get them trellised or caged. I mean, I think I have, no, I don't have any extra tomato. I've used all my tomato cages and the trellis, so we'll have to figure something out. No problem, we can do it, even if it's another stick. This is a Cherokee purple. It's got lots of blossoms on there. Hopefully you can see them okay. So, yeah, lots of blossoms on there. I got a couple sunflowers coming up here. Potatoes. Let's talk potatoes. Those are enormous. This bed is, we have the original bed that's 8 inches, and then my husband built this. These are removable, so I can take them and move them when I rotate my potato crops. They go on, just sit on top of it, and they're 12 inches, I believe, 10 or 12. I think they're 12. And then I've just mulched down in there. There's dirt down in the bottom, and it's mounded up, but then I just put a mulch on top of it. Looks like I got a little bit of something going on there. Have not seen, see, there's ants though, and I think that's what it is, because see, there's another ant. I don't know if you can see them there. I haven't seen any potato bugs or anything, so, or potato beetles or any of that stuff when I've looked. So I'm thinking it's just the ants. Crazy ants. See? Alright, here's the polyculture bed. That was our experiment. Lettuce is, actually the lettuce in the heat is taken off. It's weird. I have harvested turnips out of here, and I have harvested some radishes out of here. Come back and get some more. That's a radish that's gonna go to seed soon. Got some onions that are kicking in, some carrots, some, like I said, lettuces, some spinach. Where did my spinach go? Oh, a little bit of spinach. Like I've said in all the videos before, this was just an experiment, so I think I would do things differently. Next time I'm gonna just kind of, instead of just sporadically spread them out like they say, I think if I do this again, it'll be a little bit more planned out, like not necessarily a section of them, like just like a block, but maybe like rows or something, so I can keep a little bit better track of it, of their spacing and stuff. So again, those potatoes, 45-day cabbages. I've never grown them before. First year. That one's got a wasp in there. I don't know if you can see that. So be careful before you stick your hands in your cabbages. This one I think is getting ready. I think I'm going to harvest that maybe today or tomorrow. These ones they're kind of smaller heads, but you know, I could probably use them, honestly. It's been well over 45 days since these were planted out, so I've never grown that type before. I'm not sure. I've never seen a wasp hang around a cabbage plant either. I don't think they pollinate them. I don't know. Anyway, here's the slicing tomato and the weeds. Look at the weeds. I have not weeded this bed, so this is on me. But I will get it weeded today. So these are my Brandywines, these three. These were my little tiny starts that looked so pathetic. Go back and look at the week 1 tour. They were so, even week 2, they were so tiny and pathetic. I was like, they are not gonna make it. I mean, this one's looking phenomenal. Those ones aren't bad. So hopefully this is, whoops, let me turn you toward the plant, it would help, right? This is my oh, I'm at a loss. Oh, this is a Candyland. This one's I bought. Never seen that before. It's Candyland. Like tons of blossoms. Tons of blossoms. I got it at Lowe's, and I was like, it just looked really interesting. I'd never seen that name before, so I was really intrigued. But these little, let's see if I can get you in there. Those 2 little tiny tomatoes. One hiding down there. Those tomatoes have been that size for 3 weeks easily, so I don't know. I've not grown this one before, and like I said, it just looked intriguing because of the name, so I was like, oh, we'll give it a whirl. I'm assuming they're kind of like they're either a cherry tomato, or they are like the ripened on the vine ones you can buy, like a medium-sized slicing tomato. This one is a grape tomato, and if you look, there's a little tomato right there. Whoops, let's move the leaf out of your way. And then there's a bunch of other blossoms. So, and this one needs to be pruned back. I was waiting for it to get a little bit taller. This one was also a store-bought one. So, it kind of, that's one of the downfalls about buying store-bought or buying started plants like that, is a lot of times when you get them, especially the tomatoes, they've already reached the point where they have so many branches coming off of them with little suckers that it's hard to prune them all and to know which one is the main stem and to not hurt the plant by pruning them. So with those, I tend to just kind of let them go, prune some of them up. You know, obviously I don't want leaves laying on the ground, so I will prune them up to a certain extent. But if I get to a branch that I'm like, I don't know, it's been there for a while, I don't want to take a big piece off of that. You know, if it's a good sized stalk, like this one's actually, you know, a pretty good sized stalk. I don't know that I'm going to remove that, because that's going to leave a big spot on the side of that plant that can make it more susceptible to insects. It should make it more susceptible to insect issues or blight or mold or bacteria getting into that and you know, killing the plant. So, but anyway, so that's the tour for this week. Everything's looking really good. My red lights, they're rebels. We did have all 3 of them working 3 nights in a row, and then that one decided he wanted to protest again. What are you gonna do? And these, the arch trellis lights, let's see if you can see this. It's hard for me to see to know for sure if you're actually getting the, because of looking up towards the sky. But there's one in each arch. This one and the next arch work. That third one is kind of like that third red light. If it decides to work, it works. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to like this, and I'd really appreciate, well, we would, Brett and I both would really appreciate you sharing the video with in your social media friends, or we're trying to show everybody that it's possible to have a suburban homestead and provide a good majority of your food and stuff for yourself. So that's what our journey is about. So I hope you'll join us, and you'll invite your friends to join us too. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.